Hi guys, so this is part 2 of my Inku Crate video where I do a little bit of journaling. This part is not going to be ASMR, so if you're into that then you can go ahead and tune out. So Inku Crate's birthday month is March, but so is my daughter Sienna's birthday. So I thought I would just do a little birthday themed journal with me to go along with some of the items I received in the Inku Crate. My absolute favorite item was this miniature birthday cake, but leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite item is. These little pencil toppers were a close second. I really love this cute little bear character. So I am currently getting ready for my daughter Sienna's birthday party, and she's gonna have a Harry Potter themed birthday, which we're all really excited about. I am a huge Harry Potter fan, and so are both of my kids. If you guys want to know how I got my kids interested in Harry Potter, I'll link that video below. But anyway, I decided to print out some of Sienna's old birthday pictures. I only went back a few years, but the first set of pictures that I printed out are from when she was first turning 4, and at that time she was a really big fan of the movie Frozen, and she was all about Elsa. And so she had a dress from the Frozen short, where it's Elsa's birthday, and she had a Frozen themed cake. And I also took her to, we were in California at the time visiting family, and I took her to downtown Disney to get her hair done at Anna and Elsa's beauty salon. But before I had kids, I did not plan on having my kids like princesses, or at least if I had a daughter. I didn't want to like bombard her with all of the princess gear and the Disney franchise stuff, but when you plan on something, it never ends up working out like that. And at the end of the day, your kids are their own person and they like what they're gonna like, and you don't really have any control over that. I don't know why, but when she was a baby, I was into this whole gender neutral thing. I made her nursery green and blue, and I think a lot of first-time parents are like this. I only bought wooden toys. I didn't want to have all this pink stuff overtaking our house, and the thing is that ended up being so ridiculous at the end of the day, because number one, she liked pink. Even though I didn't present it to her a lot, it was her favorite color when she first got to an age where she could decide what her favorite color is, and it remains her favorite color to this day. And at one point she tried to say that light blue was her favorite color, but then after a few months she just decided it was not working for her. She wasn't being true to herself, and so she just accepted that she likes pink. She likes light pink. And number two, she liked princesses. I really tried my best not to introduce her to the Disney princess franchise. I didn't even let her watch any Disney princess movies until she was about 5 years old or something like that. I would only let her watch Toy Story and non-princess movies. So she watched Bolt, Toy Story, Big Hero 5, but no princess movies. The thing is, she had friends and she discovered these things through her friends, and she really liked them. And when we went to this toy store, she would see these princess toys and she would immediately gravitate towards them. I think she first learned about princesses in her ballet class, because her ballet teacher at the end of the class, if she did a good job in class, the ballet teacher would give her a sticker, and she had like a selection of princess stickers. And I think my poor daughter was the only one in her class who didn't know who the princesses were. But she eventually learned about them and she really liked them. And so she liked princesses and My Little Pony. And there was just something inside of her that just gravitated toward those things. And I actually tried to keep her away from that stuff, even though I kind of had a propensity towards liking it myself. I don't know. I just realized that maybe I had this misconception of who she was or how girls might like certain things, and that there is this stereotypical, overly feminized Disney, Barbie, Mattel imposed industry that people would force on girls or something like that. But at the end of the day, my daughter really liked those things, and it's like, who am I to tell her what she should or shouldn't like? Anyway, she loved Elsa. She's one of those 4-year-olds who just loved princesses, and at the end of the day, you know what, I was fine with it. So looking back, I wish I would have embraced it a little bit more then, because my second daughter, Valentina, wasn't really a princess type of girl. I think she kind of got into it because her sister was into it, but now that she's kind of the princess age, you know, I think around 4, 5, 6 is like the peak age where girls like Disney princesses. She's not really into it, and she doesn't like it when people call her princess. She really hates that. But you know, personally, I think I kind of like that pink princessy stuff, so maybe I missed out in those early days by not fully embracing it and kind of proceeding a little bit cautiously. My daughter Sienna wanted to wear dresses and skirts every single day, and now she only wants to wear pants and t-shirts. So she likes that simple style. So I kind of miss those days where she had to be the fanciest person in the room, and she would actually go and change her clothes if she ever perceived that anyone else in our family was dressed a little bit fancier than her. So this next set of pictures is from when we were living in Seoul, and as you can see, my daughter Sienna is wearing a fancy pink dress in both of those photos, and her birthday was always close to Easter, so I think that particular weekend we had her birthday party, and then we had an Easter egg hunt in the front of our building with a bunch of friends. And luckily, Sienna was really into bunnies at the time. That was her favorite animal, so she wanted a bunny cake, and she wanted one of those little bunnies that eats carrots and makes noises. So it was perfect because they had all this Easter stuff out at the time. So these early years of being a mom were just so crazy. I had quit my job to become a full-time stay-at-home mom, and I felt like I was in survival mode for the first 5 years of my kid's life, maybe 6, basically until my younger daughter turned 3, and my girls started playing together. It was just a zoo. And sometimes I look at the new moms on social media and I just wonder, how do they look so composed and how do they look so good? They'll like put on makeup, and I would just envy how put together they were. And I didn't even have a work to balance. I was just taking care of my 2 kids, but I felt like the days were so long, and I would kind of look forward to the evening when I could just lay down in bed and scroll on my phone and just veg out. I mean, I was fully present during that time, but when I look back, it went by in the blink of an eye, and I kind of wonder, why didn't I do more of this or that? But seriously, it just goes by so fast. It's the hardest time, but also the best time, and if you're a young mom, you're so needed and wanted and loved by your kids, and I couldn't even go to the bathroom by myself. I was just like the center holding everything together. And then as your kids grow older, they become more independent, and it's kind of nice because you get more time to yourself, but also you kind of miss them a little bit when they were really little, and like they'll be right next to me, but I'll be watching videos of them when they were just babies, and I just miss them being that small. There's a lot of good and bad things about it, but even when I look at these photos, I kind of miss my kids being a couple years younger like they were in these photos. So I feel like my kids are at the perfect age right now, and I'm kind of dreading them getting older because I know that you just eventually grow apart from your parents when kids become teenagers. They're becoming more independent and learning how to like live on their own or be their own people. And so I'm kind of dreading that time when they grow apart from me because they came from my body and I feel like they're an extension of myself, but then they're also their own people. And so while I'm really excited to see how their personalities develop further, and it's still really exciting to see, you know, what kind of people they are as individuals. They're so different, but I'm kind of dreading the time when they will eventually grow apart from me, but I know that that's gonna come. I don't want to be the kind of mom that holds on too tight, but I'm really gonna miss my kids when they leave, or if they do. I think some parents look forward to their kids moving out of the house, but personally, I'm kind of dreading it. So in American culture, there's this expectation that when you become 18 or 20 something, that you'll move out of the house. And I don't think that other cultures have that expectation. I think in Europe and Korea and other countries, in Japan, a lot of kids live with their parents until they get married. And I grew up in California. When I went to college, even though I went to a school that was about 45 minutes away from my parents' house, I moved into the dorms. Well, to be honest, it would have been a nightmare to drive there every day because of traffic. I think it would have been like a 2-hour commute. But I went to live in the dorms, and I remember one of my friends who I met at college just decided that she didn't want to move to the dorms. She moved there temporarily and she decided that she didn't like it, and so she moved back home. And I thought that was a little bit strange, but now that I'm a parent, I see it from a completely different perspective. And there's this part of me that hopes that my kids will also continue to live at home with me when they go to college. I mean, I really like having them around, and there's also a small part of me that's afraid that I'll be tempted to follow my daughters wherever they go to college. Like when my older daughter goes to college, maybe we're all gonna have to go move with her to her college town because we're gonna miss her so much. I mean, not just me, but I know that Valentina will also miss Sienna probably more than I will when Sienna goes to college, if she decides to move out. At the moment, my girls are telling me they're not going to leave, but I'm not going to hold them to that if they decide to change their minds later on, or if they get into a really good school and they decide that they want to move. I won't be against it, but I'm really going to miss them a lot. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Did you move out when you went to college? Do you still live with your parents? What is it like in your country if you're not from the US? I'd be interested to know. And I just want to remind you, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this and you don't want to miss any future videos. And I also want to give a big thank you and shout out to my Patreons and channel members. Thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.